Hi Leo, happy December. This is your general reading for the month of December 2018. Please keep in mind it is a general reading, so it may not resonate entirely with everyone. You can also check out my videos for your sun, moon, or rising sign. Two disclaimers, I do swear and I also burp, just means I'm channeling. So let's see what's going on with you guys for the month of December 2018. By the way, I'm reading with the Illuminated Tarot, for those of you who are curious, and it's a little bit of a different deck. It combines the major and minor arcana, and the minor arcana, for those of you who don't know, is what modern playing cards are based on. So you might recognize some of the suits, because that's what it's kind of looks like. Okay. All right. So, where you are right now. Who's ready to party? Sorry. It's December, but because of that, you might be going to holiday parties, getting ready for New Year's Eve, that sort of thing. The Three of Cups is about spending time with your friends, sometimes partying, enjoying things. Just, you know, the word of caution, not to enjoy things a little too much. Or if you do, be responsible. That's all. You know, hire a lift. It's not that hard. We all know how to do that now. Anyway, you're also building a strong base. So it feels like it could also be that with your friend base, you're building a support system and a foundation for yourself and for your life. This is the Ten of Pentacles, which relates to home, money, career, but, you know, also stability. So it's about building the life that you want, maybe having a family moving forward. And it could also just be acknowledging that you have a strong family base at the moment as well. Something that's influencing you at this moment is the Queen of Swords. So this could be an actual person, possibly an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, or it could also be an aspect of your personality. Or it can be someone who represents the qualities of this. So the qualities of this are someone who is tenacious and cunning, sometimes can be a little callous or cold-hearted. Usually it's about someone who is ready to get shit done, wants to make decisions and get things moving now. And, you know, as fire signs, you guys can kind of respect that. But since it's air sign element, it's a little bit more cerebral, more head-centered, whereas fire signs, it's more heart-centered, passionate. It's that internal thing. So it's, you know, however this applies to you, it's really about that. And you could also be, you cut something out of your life. So it could even be that person. But it looks like it's because it's possible that you made a decision. Either that or the person is influencing the situation that we're going to talk about, because you got yourself out of something that makes you feel stuck. This is the Five of Wands and also the Devil. So this can be about, and it's in reverse. So this can be about a conflict that's ending and or getting yourself out of a situation where you felt chained, trapped. You know, the Devil is about a situation where you feel stuck and beholden to someone else. So but it can also be about petty conflict, negotiations, litigation, that sort of thing. So if that's the case, it's coming to an end. And that could also be something that makes you feel stuck. I mean, there's a reason why they're combined in this card. They're similar elements. And whatever that is, there could be some heartbreak involved with the Three of Swords here. And this one is usually pretty straightforward. It's just heartbreak. So whatever that is, it could be that you're working through something that kind of broke your heart. That was tough to deal with. And it could also be related to this, or this could be something else moving forward. So it's interesting. You've actually got every single three. All the threes. Three of Swords, Three of Wands, Three of Cups, Three of Pentacles. Which can mean sometimes instability. You know, you're building, you're working towards something. And I feel like, yeah, the most positive, well, then that you have your friends, but I feel like in this way, some ways, this is the most positive one, because this is about building something for the future, something that's going to last, have a lasting outcome, lasting effect. Building something that you really want to see take hold and manifest itself in the future, something you can feel proud of. And it can also mean teamwork, working with other people. So it could be that you had a situation that didn't work and you had heartbreak related to something like this, but it really feels like this is the antidote to that for a lot of you. So it could be if there was something where you felt alone, you felt like people were being callous, cold-hearted, calculated. I have a cat trying to get my attention. That, you know, it's time for some teamwork involved. It's time to pair up with other people to create a vision that you want to see for yourselves for the future, for all of you. So I feel like that can also relate to this, because this is something that's sort of the base of the reading. It's finding a foundation. And usually this also is about enjoying the friendships, having gratitude for the good things in your life, whatever they are, and however many of them there are. It feels like you could be coming out of a decision in relation to that, because this is the Two of Swords in reverse, also the Hanged Man. So these two themes are about feeling like you're in a deadlock state, you're at a stalemate in your mind, you're not sure what decision to make, you're not sure where to move next, you're kind of having your own battle of wits with yourself or an argument with yourself. And the Hanged Man is about kind of the need to change your perspective and have a perspective shift to see things from a larger perspective. But also when it's in reverse, it's about not seeing yourself as the victim, not thinking that you're being treated unfairly. So I think it's that in situations where you felt marginalized, you felt like you were treated unfairly, seen unfairly, thinking about the blessings that either happened in your life besides that, or the blessings that came out of that scenario, because it might have taught you something, or there's something good that came out of it. I feel like this is a theme this month of gratitude, even for hard situations. But because of that, you could be deciding to move something forward or making a decision, looking for new opportunities with the Jack of Swords here. Either way, you're feels like you're not like launching into combat, but you're getting ready if the need calls for it. Let me pull one more card on that to see what that's about. So it could be related to work, something that you felt was not entirely fulfilling. It could also be related to a decision, potentially children, or a relationship. So there's a lot about commitment. So it could also be that this ability is changing there's ideas about commitment when it comes to relationships, family, and work. So you might be on the lookout for new opportunities when it comes to those things, or I feel like it's that perspective shift, changing your mind, and you're starting to look for things that are different than what you thought you wanted before when it comes to those particular issues. And it could be that you're coming more into your emotional power in the future. The Queen of Cups here in the future position. It's also the Empress. So this is about feeling you're at your emotional maturity, being emotionally mature, acting like a grown adult. And also it's the Empress energy. So it's about that creatrix energy, building things, creating things, giving life, sustaining life, having abundance and prosperity. And I feel like that will come out of letting go of past hurts, emotional disappointments with the Five of Cups in reverse. It's about not focusing so much on all the times that people hurt you. And it could be that a lot of this came up with Venus retrograde. A lot of reflecting on past relationships that weren't necessarily as successful as you'd hope they would be, or ended a way you hoped they would, that sort of thing. It's something that hurt you. So because of that, you're tuning into your fire energy, really, with this card, the Jack of Wands. This is about firing up your creative energy, also your ambition, figuring out what you want to do, where you want to put that fire inside of you moving forward, and what it will look like. So, sorry, my cat really wants to say hi. And here he is. Okay. So, as far as where you guys are at now, you've got the Five of Swords in reverse here. So this means that you're getting over a situation that maybe felt like somebody was being conniving, that they were being malicious and underhanded. Sorry, cats. And so you're moving through that. And moving through that conflict, maybe any despair you had related to those feelings. And you're actually coming into a better position with the Sun here. So this is about prosperity, notoriety, recognition for what you've accomplished. You know, this is some good. So you have some good news coming out of that. But it looks like you want things to move forward, and maybe they're not moving us forward quite as fast as you want. So again, I feel like... because this card in reverse can mean not necessarily seeing all the blessings. So I feel like you guys are kind of struggling this month because there's a little bit of like, somebody fucked me over. Somebody screwed me. They were being a jerk. They were being manipulative, and I'm mad. It feels a little bit like that. That you're feeling some resentment or anger or hostility because you're having trouble seeing the good at the moment. You know, it's... and I feel like in that case, you know, coming back to this Five of Cups, it's okay to admit when you're hurt and acknowledge those feelings. And, you know, most of these are actually minor influences. So these are not like things that are going to weigh on you for forever. You're going to find a way out of them. And oh my God, we have another cat. You guys, these are your spirit animals right here. I'm also a Leo, so I get it. That's why I think I have so many cats. Okay. So, with the Three of Wands, this is usually about walking through a portal, making plans, and them coming to fruition. So, with this in reverse, I feel like they are coming. It's just going to take some time. So, let me see if they have an antidote to this situation or any advice for what can help move us forward. Okay, so this is the Two of Cups and also Temperance, which can relate to Sagittarius. But it's usually about finding your own internal emotional balance and maybe addressing if you have a lack of that. And also relationships that aren't symbiotic, where you don't feel like you have an even keel as far as give and take goes energy-wise. So... whoever was being deceptive obviously was taking more than they were giving, most likely. Or maybe, in some cases, you guys were. You know, however it applies to you, what I'm hearing is feel your sadness. So any sadness you might be feeling, feel it and own it. And just like the way that this is appearing to me, it's really, you don't have to share it with anyone except yourself if you don't want to. You don't have to tell anyone. Sorry, cats. You don't have to tell anyone how you're feeling. I would say journal, walk, write at night. You know, I feel like taking some time for yourself. It's the right time of year for it. But I feel like it's also really acknowledging it if you just not to anyone else, at least to yourself, how this situation really made you feel. And if you feel hurt, if you feel sad, if you feel betrayed, owning it. It's okay. You know, you're allowed to feel your feelings. There's nothing wrong with that. And FYI, you can feel your feelings and still live your life. You can do two things at once. They're not mutually exclusive. And you can tell people, you know what? I'm just not having a great day. There's not much that you can do to change that. I don't really want you to try and cheer me up or whatever. You know, I just want to kind of work through it. Wade through your feelings. You know, they're not going anywhere. If you try to suppress them, it's not going to make a difference. So I feel like it's really just a matter of letting them flow within you and then out of you when you're ready. So something else that's influencing you is making plans to move something forward. And it looks like with whatever this is something else. This is a different situation. So this also relates to fire energy, action, communication, creativity. So it could be a new venture, something that you're excited about. So you're in the planning mode now. You're figuring out the details. But it looks like there's a victory there with the Ace of Swords here. So you're going to be successful in this thing. I feel like it's really making sure you take the proper precautions, time investments, that sort of thing. And you've also got the Jack of Pentacles here, which is sort of the student. Taking note of what's important, taking note of what's not, focusing your energy where it needs to go, learning new things when it's needed, that sort of thing. So whatever this is, you're going to be victorious. It's just a matter of making sure you put in the right effort. So, as far as the future goes, we've got the Wheel of Fortune here. Now, this can go a couple different ways. So, I feel like either way, whether you see this as upright or in reverse, it's that things are going to get better. Now, upright, the Wheel of Fortune usually means things are improving. Now, when it's in reverse, it's that you're going through the worst part of it now, and then things are going to get better. So for those of you who feel like, God, I just need some good news, it's coming. It is coming. And this is also about finding emotional abundance with the Ten of Cups here. So I think it's also about figuring out what that looks like for you, especially for those of you who are looking when it comes to things like marriage or friendships, you know, those emotional satisfaction and abundance when it comes to the relationships in your life. I feel like there's still some things to work through, but you're finding out more about yourself now than you have been. And it's going to serve you moving forward. So it's also, I think, a matter of letting go of a burden. You know, it's interesting. You got oh my God, you got 3 tens in a row right here, actually. You've got, sorry, wrong order. 10 of Cups, 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords. So the 10s are the ultimate of their students, the culmination, everything's leading toward that. So it's the 10 of Cups, which is ultimate satisfaction or emotional abundance. 10 of Wands, that fire, creative energy. But in this, it usually often means a burden. It's too much weight to carry for one person. And then with the 10 of Swords, it's often a death. Because, you know, 10 swords. But this card, it's also a major arcana card of judgment, which is an awakening or sometimes an epiphany, realization. So, good news is coming, but you have to drop a burden. You have to stop carrying things for other people or putting too much on your own plate when you already have enough to carry with your own 2 little hands by yourself. And then you'll be having an awakening over something that is probably finished, something that's ending or coming to an end. And I feel like it's an awakening for some of you. You're having a realization. This is a big theme for December. This has come up in almost every reading at the end of the month. So, I mean, as far as in the future position. So it feels like at the end of the month, a lot of people are going to be having realizations about what it is that they are carrying forward with them in their lives. What's making the cut in the new year? What's not. And it feels like this is more personal. This is just for you. You're realizing something about yourself that's going to be a pretty big epiphany. And it might be kind of emotional, but in a good way. That's what it feels like. It feels like it might be hard at first, but ultimately you'll be so glad it happened. Honestly. And then, as a result, you've got the Star. So this card is about seeing the light in the dark. And it's interesting that this will come after, I feel, the winter solstice or around that time, you know, December 21st, the darkest and shortest day of the year. And that's where all of our traditions related to Yule and then Christmas come from when it comes to trees, lights, presents. All of that is about life, light, and abundance in the darkest and coldest time of the year with the least amount of food. So I feel like this is really seeing those things, the opportunities for life, light, abundance, happiness, peace, prosperity in the darkest and coldest time of the year. I just got to download. That's why so many Christmas movies are all about hope. Because that's the tradition from Yule time, is that people will survive the winter. That is the hope. That is the dream. And that's why they always hinge all their wishes on Christmas. I don't know where that came from. But it kind of makes sense. So What I'm hearing is feel the peace and prosperity in your life. You know, this is also the Seven of Pentacles, which is about putting in effort and seeing that you're going to reap the rewards of your efforts. You're not seeing the benefits yet. You're not, it's like you're harvesting the plant, you're not seeing the fruit yet, but you know it's coming because you're doing everything that you're supposed to. The plant's looking good. It's not turning brown. It's got just enough water, enough sunlight. The elements are there. It's going to come to fruition. You're just not quite seeing it yet. And that's sort of what the star is about. It's winter time. It's dark. We've got the low winter sun, the shorter days, longer nights, getting colder, that sort of thing. But it's about seeing the light and the hope this time of year and for yourself and in your lives. And I feel like it's not really that much of a stretch because something will happen and I feel like you guys will have a moment where you're like, this is pretty great. I'm grateful for this moment and for the people here or these particular things in it. And you'll know what those are and how it applies to you. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful month of December and I will see you again next month.